So we've now done the 101 for all 4 disc profiles. I want to add a little more context for you to make sure you're really understanding which disc is which. You're going to have a quadrant in front of you. And we're going to label this quadrant a little bit here. So, at the top of the quadrant, like right extrovert. At the bottom, right introvert. On the left side of the quadrant, right people-oriented. And on the right side, right task-oriented. Here is the disc quadrant for you. Each one of these 4 results falls into one of these quadrants. One of these disc profiles is a task-oriented introvert. Another one is a people-oriented extrovert. Another quick way to sum up these 4 different profiles. So before I tell you what goes where, let's give yourself a pop quiz here. Pause the video and take a moment to guess, where does the D go? Which quadrant? Where does the I go, the S go, the C go? Take a guess here, and I'll give you the answers here right after this. Okay, let's see how you did. So how about that top right? That should be the task-oriented extrovert in the top right. If you guessed D, you are correct. That's where the D goes. That's the D portion of this quadrant. A D, another way to think of them, is a task-oriented extrovert. So, what about a people-oriented extrovert? That would be the top left quadrant. If you put an I there, spot on, 2 for 2, high I's are people-oriented extroverts. So where do you think the S belongs? If you picked the bottom left, the people-oriented introvert, you are correct, 3 for 3, and that leaves us with the last quadrant, the bottom right one, a task-oriented introvert. That's your high C for you. So another quick way to boil these results down. Are they task-oriented? Are they people-oriented? Are they introverted? Are they extroverted? Really great way to lean back and remember, so what exactly is a D versus an S? Now, when we think of a D and their characteristics, what they're all about, another way to maybe flesh this out is to, let's apply some stereotypical careers, positions, or professions that high Ds might be naturally drawn to. Again, think of typical careers or positions within companies. Well, we know Ds want to be in charge, so hopefully you put down boss or CEO. You're going to often find a D pursuing or holding a CEO, head of the company type position. Leadership roles, right? Being top dog. You also often see high Ds in doctors and lawyers. Now, all of these examples aren't universal, but it's something to lean on. It's something stereotypically that stereotypically has some accuracy to it. Now, the high I. What type of profession would you expect to see a high I in? There's one big one we're looking for here. High I's, more than anything, the most major, one thing you often find a high I in is the world of sales. Being in sales. That is often where a high I gravitates to. You know, another thing we often think of is maybe like a promoter, an advocate of some sort, a spokesperson, but that term, a salesperson, is just almost synonymous with high I. Okay, let's move down to those S's. The steady, the stable. So we've got these team players here, these supportive folks. So we're talking teachers, nurses, administrators, those people who are there to help everything run smoothly, to help out and just run this thing and work together effectively. Lastly, the C's. What do you think about those C's, those conscientious calculators? Very data-driven, very numbers-oriented these C's are. Finances, If you said IT, architecture, engineering, you are on the right track. Typical professions we would see high C's fall into.